see, let me bring up the bracket here so that way I'm not giving you false information. Yeah, Apollo did take a loss to LV Creed in winners round 2 of the group stage, but he made it out facing Captain Bublo. megakyle on the other hand, oh, I'm sorry. No, yeah, I was correct in saying that he did not take a loss and making it out of his group. He was in Group C. So yeah, and then in the final stage of the bracket, megakyle actually took out Daggett in winners round 1 to come up to this match where Apollo had the bye here, so he got to. So this is his first match in the final bracket.
Yeah, the winner of this one will go on to face Stuff and Things, who has really been crushing this tournament in my opinion. He's definitely looking like the favorite to go against some of the other opponents here, so I'm really curious to see who's going to end up facing him later on.
Yeah, I'm excited. This match is for top 8. This will put either runner, the winner of the two, into winners quarterfinals. This is a 2 out of 3 match, so this will be game 1, and yeah.
And just so everyone knows as well, even if one of the guys do lose today, they're not necessarily out of the tournament. We still have a losers bracket to go through, so they could potentially end up in the championship.
Yeah, so these guys are starting off here, and it looks like Apollo is making his way into the Flash Arena. He's going to be the first to hit a boss room. He's going to find Woodman here. megakyle went to the Quickman stage first.
He's got a pretty decently easy Woodman, considering where he's at, as long as he doesn't get killed right here.
Well, I don't know. That Woodman, he's not Buster Weak, so...
Yeah. megakyle's gonna take on Airman over here. He's definitely not giving off the best patterns in the beginning.
Now, it's worth mentioning that this race is starting while another race has been going on. Squidman and Kumba are over on Speed Gaming 2 racing right now, with Squidman in the lead. So if you guys are interested, you might want to catch up on a multi-twitch or something like that, and yeah, check out both races at the same time. Why not, right? But yeah, megakyle here is gonna make it out. So is Apollo, about the same time. And Apollo's gonna find item 2.
That item 2 is gonna be huge. You can use that for a lot of the levels that are more annoying in this game, like Heatman. So to catch it kind of early kind of gives you somewhat an advantage to beat some of the longer levels.
Yeah, now these runners are just gonna flip-flop here. Looks like megakyle's going into Flash and gonna have to deal with some of the stuff that Apollo did. He checked the wall there to see if the wall was weak to Buster. In the randomizer, the wall can be weak to any weapon, not just Crash Bomb like in the vanilla game. So good on him to check that.
Yeah, sometimes you get really lucky to get a Buster or something early that you already have, and it's always good to check every chance you get. Just because it just makes that Hard and Wily 4 for the boss just a lot easier to get through. Looks like Apollo here is running through some drills that I don't know if they're... Yeah, they are actually resistant to Buster, so that's going to be a little bit of an issue for him. Well, he made it out, no problem.
Yeah, megakyle got caught up by the Metroids there. For lack of the proper name, I forget what it is off the top of my head right now, but yeah, he's gonna have to drop down. He's not gonna get the E-tank there.
Yeah, and Apollo just took a death right now, an unfortunate one. Yeah,
that laser beam section there is it can be a tricky one, and sometimes even the most veteran of runners can get caught up with a small mistake. Any small mistake will cost you in that situation.
Definitely, and although and he just took another death because of the drills. The actual beams themselves aren't randomized. They do go in the same order, but I mean, like he said, it's just with everything going on, sometimes it could just be a little bit too much.
Yeah, those drills also are Buster immune, so it looked like Apollo was trying to farm some energy off of the. Man, forgive me, I forget the name of those guys too. Little hockey puck. But it didn't work out for him. Ooh, he hesitated. Ooh, that's gonna be a game over, I believe. No, he's got one.
No. That's really rough to see.
And he's struggling here, and this Quickman's just gonna have to figure something out to get this.
As long as he can stay alive with these drills, he should be okay getting through the rest of it. Just gotta, you know, make sure he just kind of commits through the beams.
Alright, so he's got a flash stopper out. Meanwhile, while megakyle is trying to set up this bubble zip Buster only, this flash stopper will help him get through this section. It looks like it's not taking much energy, and it's not flashing for long. Oh, please!
Oh my god!
That was so scary.
My heart literally dropped when I watched that, and oh god.
Yeah, meanwhile, Kyle made the zip, and he's on his way to fight whoever's behind door number 3 for him.
Yeah. Watching Apollo do that was definitely crazy. I haven't seen someone use Flash since I started playing the game when it first came out, so it's very funny to watch him do it and then almost like get killed at the same time. But kudos to him, he's through, so he can finally get to the next boss.
Well, Flash Stopper is actually not a bad tactic there, but I rarely see anybody go for that particular item refill, but he did, and
yeah.
Well, it worked out for him, so that's good. Now he's got a one-shot against the Airman, so we'll see how he fares. While megakyle's fishing for a weakness against Quickman, finding Quick Boomerang doing all right.
Definitely needs to watch himself with Quickman in the bubble stage here. Ooh.
And I cursed him, didn't I? My bad.
Well, I mean, there is a I believe is it Quickman is the one that you can soft lock in bubble stage that you have to be turned to the right. Am I correct?
No. What it is, the triggers that soft lock is, which is not technically a soft lock. I mean, okay, sometimes it is, depending. But it's the lag of say your weapons with the Robot Master's weapons in there. Like Crash, man, say notoriously, his crash bombs cause lag, especially if you use one of your weapons, like say Metal Blade, that you can put 3 on the screen at the same time, with say Crash Bomb with like a bunch of sprites on the screen. So what happens is it causes a slowdown, and then once you kill, if you're in the air and facing left, there's a possibility that you'll zip. Sometimes you'll end up in I think it's Wily 4, a glitched version, which is not beatable. So
yeah, that's what I've heard, or what I've seen actually. I think I've seen a stream where one of the streamers actually got caught in that whole predicament, which is really unfortunate.
But you can actually get out of that by taking a game over, then you'll just have to fight redo bubble stage. The other soft lock, there's a second one that it'll do the same thing, but it'll lock you in. It'll finish the stage, but you'll be locked in some sort of glitched mess to where when you go into another stage, it'll read you in the other one, and then it'll instantly kill you. That's what the soft lock. So technically, the first situation isn't a soft lock.
Gotcha. Okay. Apollo took an interesting little item 2 run into that little section in Heat Man, but now he's just gonna go through the Yoko blocks without any problem. And he seems to know what he's doing there, so then that wasn't really too bad of a move.
Right, yeah, if you don't go for that zip with item 3, or if you don't have item 3 to do it, you're in Heat Man stage. Yeah, item 2 is not a bad choice there if you're confident enough in your skills to perform the Yoko blocks, which Apollo is, so he did that, and now he's at the Heat door, which is his 3rd boss.
Yeah. And definitely he didn't have any enemies that were gonna basically knock him off that item 2 as well as he went through it, so that definitely made it easier.
Yeah, right on. We've got a Metal Man that throws very slow metal blades here. We'll see. He looks like he's soft weak at least the Buster, so Apollo makes pretty quick work of him.
Yeah, not too hard of a boss. Looks like megakyle's about to enter into the Woodman boss stage.
And Apollo finds item 3 for his troubles.
I'll give him a second. Yeah, he's got 2 and 3. Well, megakyle's got probably the easiest crash run I think I've seen so far. He just was grandpa walking.
Yeah, he's just enjoying his little stroll in the park in the wood arena. Mega Man, who just happens to be the antagonist in this situation.
Yeah. Looking like the bad guy this time.
That silly blue dweeb. That's a throwback to the 90s cartoon show where Wily always calls Mega Man the blue dweeb.
The blue dweeb, yep.
That's great. Alright, so megakyle gonna make his way to Airman stage now. I don't believe he's found either item 3 or item 1. We know that you find item 3 in Heatman stage now, but of course Kyle doesn't. And I haven't seen either runner pick up item 1.
Yeah. megakyle doing really well with those frogs in that stage. That can or cannot be a really bad section, and he definitely made it look easy. Interesting enough, both Apollo and megakyle didn't do the Goodwood. I was wondering if any of them were going to take that chance.
Well, Kyle doesn't have the item 1 or 3 to do it.
You are right.
Apollo did, but perhaps he just doesn't know how to perform it. It is a little bit of a more advanced strategy, and it's also risky. Especially in the randomizer. If you meet up with a fan guy on the screen above the screen you set it up, then you could potentially soft lock. And
that's definitely true.
That could end up causing a problem. Alright, Kyle's gonna find Heatman. We'll see how Heatman treats him. He's gonna go weapon searching, seeing that Heatman is not soft weak to Buster.
Ooh, not to metal or quick.
And it looks like he's just gonna do this the old-fashioned way. And Heatman still does a good amount of body damage, so...
Yeah. Definitely needs to watch himself, especially because He-Man's going pretty slow. Oh!
In the meantime, Apollo gonna knock out Crashman and Woodman stage.
Ooh, megakyle just kissed those little little heaters that came out.
And Apollo gonna find himself in the bubble stage, place where megakyle has already been. I believe that's one of the only stages that they're different right now, besides Apollo's choice to go to Heatman a little early. Kyle's sitting here trying to dance with Heatman a bit.
Having a little bit of trouble, but looks like he's kind of getting a little rhythm now. Definitely beats him with these.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, the idea behind the Heat dance there is Heatman actually dashes on either 30, 60, or 90 frames. And what you do is you jump away from him. The first time, trying to predict when he's gonna dash, you want the 30, of course. So you jump once, and then if he dashes, you shoot. If he doesn't, you do it again. And then if he dashes, then that's 60. You shoot. If he doesn't, you don't. Then the third time, you're pretty clear to pretty much jump over him, because he's gonna dash the third time, more than likely. And if he doesn't, then perhaps he's even slower than that. But I don't think that his dash frames got random.
No, he was just definitely slower on his pace of getting towards the area where he would stop. Oh, and Apollo went for an item too, but got blocked by one of the platforms, and that definitely set him back to about half the level, while megakyle takes a death himself. So they're about a half a level apart at this point in the game.
Right, yeah, I'd say just about that. Kyle's gonna go ahead and take some insta-deaths just to go ahead and game over and make sure to refill his lives. And he did pick up item 1 in air stage. I didn't mention that before.
Yeah, I just noticed that myself. It was probably the best thing for megakyle to do. And he can also get a free E-tank out of this as well, so it's not too bad of a strategy.
Yeah, not a bad trade-off. You know, since he went ahead and took that death over this next pit. Unfortunately, the item 1 it doesn't stay on the screen long enough for him to be able to zip with it in this instance.
It's like Apollo's just gonna be waiting for these trash cans, because with Buster they're basically shooting out the cans as they would in like difficult mode in vanilla. So he was just waiting for those guys to basically commit suicide at that point. Now he's off to the boss stage.
Yep, he's off to fight Quickman, see how he does in his Quickman fight. And it looks like Apollo's gonna finally decide to check and see if he can find any weaknesses here. We might have to use an E-tank. Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and do that. So, pretty good strategy there. I don't blame him. Anytime where you can not die, that's always a good thing.
Sorry about that. My screen froze on the actual stream for a little bit. I was trying to refresh it. Now we're all good.
Rock on, rock on. Ooh, nice. Kyle finds metal. And just juggles Flashman. 3 hits and he's dead.
Very easy. He was able to just get him right up there, not a problem.
And Apollo's on his way to find item 1, as we know, since Kyle found it in Airman stage, it will indeed be an Airman stage for Apollo as well. And vice versa for megakyle. Megakyle's going to find item 3 now.
Yep. It's definitely gonna be a good advantage for Apollo once he gets to Crashman.
Yeah, definitely. Kyle is a stage ahead at this point, but if Apollo can make it through this air stage pretty quickly, I'd say metal goes a little bit faster than heat does. Maybe just a little bit.
Definitely.
But by all means, all 3 of these stages Apollo has left are kind of longer stages.
Apollo not having too trouble himself with the frogs, which is really good. Like I said, those tend to be an issue. Not as much as certain things like fanboys, but you know, definitely still an issue at times because of those little frogs that shoot out. megakyle gonna do the same thing that Apollo does and just basically ride that item 2 up to the top and go for the Yoku blocks. Apollo looking like he was having a little bit of the same trouble that megakyle was, just understanding where, how slow He-Man can be on this boss encounter. But seems like he's gotten a rhythm now, which is really good. megakyle gonna see the Metal Man, the slow Metal Man. This makes this for an easy fight for him. Takes it out immediately, not a problem. And Apollo also takes out Heat Man. Basically gonna find his item 1 and end up at Crash Man. Looks like they're both gonna be end up at Crash Man now, so they will both have all items. Oh, I'm wrong. Actually, they're Apollo still has Metal Man to go through, so he's technically a stage behind at this point.
Let's see what Crashman stage has for Kyle.
Ooh.
So gonna be some fat
Yeah.
We'll see if he can use this item once it's zip. We know we can't zip on Metal Man stage. I think Apollo's slowly figuring that one out. Although he is trying to set it up.
megakyle definitely trying his hardest to get this one going.
Yeah, this one's actually, I believe, doable. He's placing the item 1 a little low. I think he's just gonna go ahead. But if he would have bonked his head and placed the item 1, I think he did try that once, and he got pretty close. But as the pixel, even maybe the pixel before that Mega Man's head touches the second roof, you can zip. So.
Luckily enough, although the fanboys can be annoying and a little bit laggy, there are some parts of these frames where he'll be okay. So just gotta kind of kill 1 or 2 of them, and then he'll be good to go, or none, like he just did right now.
Yeah, Fat Fan's definitely not the worst enemy to find in that spot. You hate to see like squid enemies there, or rabbits aren't the friendliest.
Definitely.
Frogs. But
for anybody interested that's not seeing the other match that's going on between Squidman and Kumba, Kumba actually just took the win, so that makes them tied. They're forced to go into a game 3. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens with that matchup as we continue with this one here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, both matches are pretty exciting, if you ask me. I mean,
yeah.
Almost to where megakyle is, and that's gonna wrap up the metal stage. I'd say he's probably like 3/4 stage behind.
Yeah, roughly about 3/4. So they're not too far. And considering that we haven't even hit Wily stages yet, which usually become the biggest problems of this whole entire randomizer, I mean, it could still be anybody's game at this point.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll see how Apollo deals with this.
Definitely probably shaking his head at this point and seeing the Fat Fans, but definitely could have been worse. Could have had frogs, could have had other things, rabbits.
Yeah, Apollo also finds air to take out these Fat Fans. I believe megakyle found the same. And I believe Apollo's gonna go for the zip here as well, so we'll see if he gets to successfully set it up. Ooh, maybe that item 1 is too slow.
Oh, it looked like he almost had it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, he's gonna go ahead and go too.
Yeah, megakyle beat a Bubble Man, and he was super weak to Buster, so that was the big edge for him. And yeah, it looks like Apollo's actually just gonna take the longer route, I should say, not harder.
Well, it could indeed be harder as well. That you do have 3 extra screens to go through. Sometimes
Definitely.
it is. But he saves enough item 1 at least to traverse these screens more quickly.
Yeah. It's a little laggy, but they both were both doing it, so considering that, it actually kind of keeps them somewhat even within the realm of how they ran the stages.
Yeah, and megakyle's entered Wily once, so we like to play a little game here where we all guess the color of the dragon in chat. So go ahead and make sure to get your dragon color guesses in, and a lot of people like to actually guess the weakness as well. And I'm gonna go with a Charizard looking dragon, so red and yellow. with Bubble to be his weakness.
I think I'm gonna go black. I don't know, maybe it's just because I was looking at those suction cup guys and just kind of was the first thought in my head. For weakness, I think I will go... Let's go with air for weakness. Although if it is air, it's gonna be kind of a bummer because those projectiles are shooting very weird. Apollo almost about to finish up his Crashman and get himself into the Wily stages as well. So, like I said, he's not too far behind. I'd say roughly they're both about a stage behind at this point. Ooh.
Oh, that dragon's pretty vanilla looking.
Yeah.
He's got a little purple on today instead of blue. But...
Yeah, it's probably the only difference. And wow, he's pretty weak to the crash weapon, so that was easy for megakyle, who already had it out.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting to be someone go for crash first. But occasionally it's that kind of day, and yeah. Kyle is going to take down the dragon, while Apollo takes out Bubble Man in the Crash Arena and joins him in the Wily stage here at 2638.
So they're about, give or take, yeah, basically a stage apart. At this point, you know, megakyle's about to go into the Pico stage, and if Apollo's able to find a weakness just as fast as megakyle did, this may help him catch up if megakyle has any problems with the Pico, which could be definitely an issue in this game.
I want to go ahead and remind you guys that don't know, there is another race going on, like we mentioned. It's actually, they're about to start the tie-breaking game right now, so make sure to check out Speed Gaming 2 alongside of this one, so you guys can catch all the Mega Man Randomizer Tournament action.
We definitely have some of the best of Mega Man runners running through these final stages, so you definitely don't want to miss any of the other matches if you've already have.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's the final bracket, top 12. This match particularly is a winner's round 2 match, so the winner of this match goes on to the top 8. The other match is actually a winner's round 1 match. Winner of that match plays, I believe it's Mad Mega X, to see who goes to the top 8.
megakyle finding the Buster weakness for Pico, which is very nice for him to find that, because it also conserves quite a bunch of energy, which is really good for the randomizer. Usually when you're doing vanilla in a speed run, you kind of know how to use your ammo wisely to keep it all for, you know, the speedrunning game. But in randomizer, you kind of use a little bit more than normally. So having something like Buster, which basically wastes no ammo energy, is pretty much a blessing in this game.
Yeah, no ammo energy and no extra time in searching the menus for weapons. So
Yeah.
you always like to see Buster weaknesses, especially in the weapon pages.
Funny enough, in this tournament, I think we've seen a lot of Buster Wily machines, which I found really funny to see in this tournament, how many of those were happening.
Well, Bubble Weak was not a weakness for the dragon. We'll see how Apollo does. He, on the other hand, has found Wood Shield, or Leash Shield, and it's pretty effective as well.
Yeah, definitely looked like it did a little bit better than what the Crash was doing. The only difference was that Apollo got hit in the process, so that definitely slowed him down. But still anybody's game. We haven't hit Wily 4 yet, and even in vanilla, it's definitely one of the worst stages to get in, especially when you get to the spiked part. So anything
the
can happen
spike
at this
screen
point.
of doom. Yeah,
Oh my
definitely.
god, yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of misfortune to be had on Wily Ford, but we wouldn't wish that on anybody. But we'll see what happens. I mean, yeah, this race isn't over by any means. Apollo's still about a stage, maybe a stage and a half, or excuse me, megakyle's still about a stage, maybe a stage and a half at this point. He's gonna fight Gustozer while Apollo's making his way to Pico.
Yeah. Apollo taking quite the different route than normally you would take. Definitely using the item 2 to get over those blocks to take the other route, the alternate route, which is very random to me. But I mean, hey, what am I to say of how you decide to run your randomizer?
That's actually the any percent difficult vanilla game strategy is to go up the first ladder, skip the E-tank, and go down the second.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily take any more or less time, so they say, but well, I think it might take maybe a little bit more time to go to the second ladder, and that's just because if you don't do the item 1 zip underneath that first quarter. And Apollo finding himself in a strange situation. He's out of item 3, and item 1 doesn't work very well, so he's going to sit here and try to farm for item 3 energy. It's going to slow him down a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be also a little annoying because he is having to battle with the Metroids, and if you notice, some of the Metroids in the wall, and he did have one of them actually shoot him over a nice big weapon energy, but since it was already glitched into the wall, he was pretty much screwed. But looking like he's getting a little bit, just enough at least to get him through.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell where he's at. There he goes. He makes it. A little flicker going on there, but he makes it up, so that's good. Megakyle makes his ascent pretty standard. I think he fell through one of the vault doors, but now he makes his descent, which we've got Shanky Makers, aka Flame Tosser.
These guys could definitely be a big trouble in the third part of this spike area. Let's see how well he does.
And speaking of trouble, Apollo ran into a little bit here on Pico, but he's got 3 E-tanks, chooses to spend 1. He's got 2 more to work with, so we'll see how the rest of his fight goes.
Yep, and just like I said, megakyle taking a death there with those guys. Apollo actually finding the weakness as well. Instead of using Buster, though, he's finding just 1 shot for the airman.
Yeah, the spike screen of doom. That's spike screen 3 on the descent. That's the one that I consider spike screen of doom. Always claims lives, and unfortunately Megakyle is going to be a victim this time. Apollo making it out of Pico now, on his way to Guts.
Ooh, megakyle took a little bit of a risk there, but that was probably the best thing he can do with those flamethrowers and got out of that just barely skating.
Yeah, he makes it through the second time pretty clean. That's actually also the any percent strat to hop on that spike bed in the middle. That scares me so much. I usually just wait it out, but especially in race settings, but a couple extra seconds to me is worth, not jumping on that. But Megakyle swags it out. He goes the faster route, which this is a race, it's a speed run, so you always want to be faster.
Definitely. So he's gonna have to go fishing here for the box because he didn't try to check it earlier. Let's see what he ends up finding. Gonna pop an E-tank there. He was definitely taking some damage.
Yeah, I believe he's still looking for the wall weakness. I don't think he stops in
No, not at all.
So
oh, there you go. He's found the charge sheet.
Which that's step 1. He still has to find the weakness to the turrets themselves. Which he's gonna go fishing for. I believe he already checked wood and metal. has not checked Buster, no. So go ahead and pop another E-Tank, and it's Vanilla Crash gonna do the job.
Yeah. Definitely one of the ones that you don't want, just because of the fact that it takes quite a bit of time for it to explode for you to basically kill these guys. But nevertheless, still something effective.
Yeah, and just like that, megakyle is out of Wily 4 while Apollo is going in.
Still a stage behind, depending on what happens on these refights. Might let us know what the outcome might be.
Yeah, I've seen crazier things happen, especially here in the final bracket.
Oh yeah.
Refights, machine. I mean, still anybody's race, even though it looks like Kyle has a good, pretty dominant lead so far.
Yeah, there's definitely differences in the refights as opposed to the boss stages. You know, with things like Flashman, where the platforms are kind of elevated in certain spots and things like that. These ones are completely flat. So sometimes that can change the way the boss will move, and you will have to change the way that you move as well. And sometimes it can cause him a death.
Apollo getting caught up on that shrimp at the beginning of Wily 4, he's gonna find one to get past.
The beautiful fun shrimp.
Oh, nice heat find for Quickman.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Screen.
Yeah, once you end up finding out that heat is fully charged just by one shot, sometimes you know that it's going to be really effective for some of the bosses. megakyle definitely making use of, you know, fishing for the weapons to try to make this a little bit faster on his end.
Yeah, he finds vanilla heat weakness bubble to work this time for Heatman. And Buster's down the dumb version of Crash. We'll see how Apollo deals with the Wily Descent here on Wily 4. It's gonna damage boost the first screen. But that's not the hard screen.
No, not yet. Not by a long shot.
We'll see what happens on this next screen. Hoping he can make it through. Oh, he is item 1 and across.
Definitely made it by.
Oh, he's trying to pause buffer the gap.
Oh, and
that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, he got really lucky by that the flamethrower throwing that at him.
Yeah, that leaves him 1 E-Tank for the rest of the game.
megakyle making these refights look like nothing. He's ready for Wily Machine.
And the Wily Machine is blue as it can be.
And what do you know? The Buster weakness has come back. Definitely a favorite for this randomizer.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, and especially on the machines, it's always good. I think it's got a 1/2 chance to be weak to Buster. Which also there could be another weakness besides Buster, but if you see Buster weak, then you usually just Buster it down. It's quicker than fishing.
Yeah. Although it is at the end of the game, you know, just conserving any type of animal for the alien, because you never really know what the weakness can be, and then sometimes you might need all energy to kill the alien at this end. Or you might get lucky as well and just get a Buster alien, which we've seen a couple times.
Now, speaking of aliens, I believe the alien would be green with a purple head.
I think I'm gonna go pink. Maybe a green head as well. I'm gonna go bubble. I'm gonna go bubble weakness.
I'll say quick boomerang. It's LV Creed's favorite. I was wrong. Okay, I'm being smart. Creed can't stand when it's quick because he says it's quick too often. But yeah, it was not quick.
Oh, it looks like it's air. The problem with the air shots, though, is it's a little bit weird, but he actually gets really lucky and is able to use one of those for a 2-shot. And megakyle gonna take the first win.
Yeah, good stuff to megakyle. Meanwhile, Apollo does make it out of the Beam fight. He's on his refights now. We'll see how Apollo takes care of the rest of the game here.
What is this Roblox?
Alright, making it a couple more.
Ooh. It's unfortunate.
Death. To Airman. So he's gonna have to refight against the Airman here. Did he use his E-Tank? I think he still has it. Unless he used it in Wily against Blue Beam. I didn't see. I gotta admit, I was looking for that alien color about that time. He's got 4 more to go. We know Crash goes down pretty easily.
Well, Apollo is going to finish up his match and we get ready for the second one. Looking over at the other match between Kumba and Squidman, they're definitely with 4 bosses left, so they're pretty much tied at this point going through their third and final match to see who's going to advance forward.
Yeah, it's definitely a good race going on over there. So guys, make sure to multi-twitch it if you haven't yet.
Yes, definitely.
We said it a couple times, but yeah, it's Mega Man 2 randomizer action. You got to watch it all.
Yep. You definitely don't want to miss anything. We've seen some matches literally go down to the second in this tournament. It's been crazy. So to miss anything at this point would be really wrong.
Apollo find an air shot to deal with metal pretty well. He needs to hold on to some of that though, because we know he doesn't that alien's gonna be weak to air.
Definitely.
Alright, looks like he's gonna go fishing for a weakness here. Alright, now he goes back to Buster to try it.
He better watch himself with his health right now, because well, he's lucky enough he has an E-Tank, so he should be fine. But yeah, that second phase with those little bouncing balls can definitely cause an issue. It's we've seen it happen once or twice in these races.
Yes sir, yes sir. And Paul's gonna make it out of the machine. 43 minutes. And he's off to find the alien.
Still not too bad of a race for Apollo, you know. A mid-40 is actually not too bad of a time in a randomizer.
Oh, definitely not. Yeah, yeah. 40's not too bad. We've seen the fastest. I believe the world record is like 32 something by Metalo. But I mean, he must have had like a magic seed or something.
Yeah.
But he's also really, really good. So you know.
Oh, and he finds that air pretty fast. So
And Apollo's gonna finish with an official FRL time of 44:58, improving on his personal best by 2 minutes and 22 seconds. So that is a PB, a race PB for Apollo. So GG's to both runners.
Yep, definitely GG's.
megakyle gonna take the victory for this first one. We'll get the runners set up with new seeds. In the meantime, check out Squidman and Kumba on the other screen, but stay tuned here because we have race 2 coming up very shortly.
Yes, definitely.